Why does your dog stare at you while you eat, sometimes without blinking, following every movement of your fork, as if the meal belongs to both of you? Most people assume it's simple begging. They think their dog is just hoping a piece of chicken or a crumb of bread will fall to the floor. But scientists who study canine behavior have discovered that this familiar moment often carries a much deeper psychological meaning. In fact, the way your dog watches you during meals can reveal how they see your relationship, how they read your emotions, and even how thousands of years of evolution shaped the bond between dogs and humans. Once you understand what's really happening behind those patient eyes, you may never look at your dog's dinner time stare the same way again. And here's something even more surprising. One of the most fascinating discoveries has almost nothing to do with food at all. It has to do with trust, attachment, and a behavior that researchers believe separates dogs from almost every other domesticated animal. We'll come back to that later, because first we need to understand why your dog seems so completely focused on you during one of the most ordinary moments of the day. The obvious explanation is that your dog wants your food. And yes, that's certainly part of the story. Dogs are excellent opportunists. Their ancestors survived by taking advantage of every possible food source they could find. Thousands of years ago, wolves that were less fearful of human camps likely gained access to discarded scraps. Over generations, those animals became the earliest domestic dogs. Evolution rewarded individuals that paid close attention to human eating habits because humans represented one of the most reliable sources of calories. Even today, your dog has inherited that instinct. Watching you eat is, in part, an ancient survival strategy passed down through countless generations. But if hunger were the whole explanation, every dog would behave exactly the same way. They don't. Some dogs stare even after they've just finished a full meal. Others simply lie nearby, calmly observing without making any attempt to get food. That tells scientists something much more interesting is happening. Researchers studying canine cognition have found that dogs constantly gather information by watching human behavior. Unlike many animals, dogs are remarkably skilled at reading our actions. Studies have shown they can follow pointing gestures, recognize facial expressions, and even predict certain routines based on subtle patterns. When you're eating, your dog isn't only thinking about the food, they're collecting information. Are you relaxed? Are you stressed? Is this a normal family meal, or are visitors present? Dogs treat your daily routines like pieces of a puzzle that help them understand what kind of day lies ahead. In other words, while you're focused on dinner, your dog may be focused on you. This ability didn't appear by accident. Scientists studying domestication believe dogs evolved alongside humans in a way that strengthened their social intelligence. Individuals that could better understand people were more likely to survive, reproduce, and pass those abilities to future generations. Over thousands of years, dogs became experts at reading human behavior. That's why your dog often notices tiny changes in your mood before other people do. And it leads directly to another remarkable discovery that becomes even more personal. Many owners think their dog is staring because they're being stubborn or trying to manipulate them. But behavioral psychologists see another possibility. Your dog may be looking for social permission. In canine social groups, watching higher-ranking members helps individuals learn what is safe, what is available, and when it's appropriate to act. Your family has effectively become your dog's social group. During meals, your dog often waits for cues instead of acting independently. Should they approach? Should they stay back? Is this one of the rare moments when food is shared? Your reactions teach them what to expect. Over time, those expectations become deeply learned habits shaped through observation rather than force. If you're enjoying this journey into the hidden psychology behind everyday dog behavior, consider liking the video and subscribing. There are countless moments your dog experiences very differently than we do, and understanding them can completely transform the relationship you share. Speaking of transformation, the next discovery explains why some dogs don't even seem interested in the food itself. Scientists who study attachment between dogs and humans have compared certain canine behaviors to what's known in developmental psychology as a secure attachment relationship. While dogs are not human children, they often use their owners as emotional reference points in surprisingly similar ways. Researchers have observed that many dogs check in visually with their owners when faced with uncertainty. This behavior, sometimes called social referencing, allows dogs to gather emotional information before deciding how to respond. During meals, your calm presence may simply provide reassurance. Your dog watches because being near you feels safe. The food becomes secondary. Your presence is the real source of comfort. That helps explain something many owners have noticed. Some dogs quietly watch without whining, barking, or pawing for food. If begging were their only goal, remaining silent wouldn't make much sense. Instead, these dogs appear content, simply being included in the shared experience. From their perspective, eating together may reinforce the feeling that the family remains connected. Social animals often synchronize important activities like resting, traveling, or feeding. Although domestic life looks very different from the wild, the instinct to stay close during significant group activities remains surprisingly strong. But here's where the story takes another unexpected turn. Neuroscience suggests your dog may also be studying your face in ways that reveal just how closely your lives have become intertwined. Brain imaging studies have shown that dogs possess specialized responses to human facial expressions and voices. They distinguish happy expressions from angry ones and respond differently depending on your emotional state. While you're eating, your dog isn't necessarily staring at your plate every second. They're often watching your face. Tiny shifts in expression, tone of voice, or body language provide valuable emotional information. Your dinner becomes another opportunity for your dog to strengthen its understanding of the person they trust most. This emotional sensitivity also explains why your dog's stare changes depending on your mood. If you're laughing with family, they often appear relaxed. If you're eating while anxious or distracted, many dogs become more attentive, almost as if they're trying to figure out whether something is wrong. Researchers believe dogs have become exceptionally tuned to human emotions because cooperation with people has always depended on communication. They don't understand every word you say, but they often understand far more about how you feel than we realize. Now we can return to the remarkable discovery mentioned at the beginning. One reason your dog watches you eat without looking away is because attention itself has become an expression of attachment. Studies on the human-canine bond show that mutual eye contact between dogs and owners can increase oxytocin levels in both species. Oxytocin is often called the bonding hormone because it strengthens feelings of trust and connection. While prolonged direct staring can be threatening between unfamiliar dogs, relaxed eye contact between a dog and a trusted human often carries the opposite meaning. It reflects security rather than conflict. Your dog's unwavering gaze may be saying far more than, "Can I have some food?" It may be expressing, "I'm connected to you. I'm paying attention to you because you matter." Of course, every dog has its own personality. Breed tendencies, training, previous experiences, and individual temperament all shape behavior. Some dogs are naturally more food motivated. Others are more socially driven. The important lesson is not to assume there's only one explanation. Behavior is rarely controlled by a single instinct. Instead, it's usually the result of biology, learning, emotion, memory, and thousands of years of shared history with humans all working together. The next time you sit down for a meal and notice those familiar eyes quietly following you, remember that you're witnessing more than a request for leftovers. You're seeing evolution, psychology, trust, communication, and companionship meeting in one simple moment. Behind that silent stare is an animal that has spent thousands of years learning how to understand us better than almost any other species on Earth. And perhaps the greatest gift your dog offers isn't their loyalty or their love, but the quiet reminder that sometimes the deepest connections are built simply by never looking away.